Welcome everyone to our workshop today. Today, our workshop is called Mastering the Art of Achievement, from Challenges to Solutions to the Power of Community. For those who don't know me, I'm Anna Kelian. I am the Intellectual Life Champion here in the Lifebook community. And today I have here with me my fellow Lifebook leaders, Carolina, Yara, and Jose. And so why we're doing this event? So the three of us, we've done Lifebook around 4 or 5 years now, I guess. And we actually really struggled at the beginning to turn our vision into reality. And we've done Mastery. Back then, it was a long time ago, as I said, but there were a lot of challenges and struggles. And we found individually, we found solutions, but also together, we found solutions to these challenges. So we wanted to kind of share what we've learned with the community, but we also realized that the more of these challenges we're solving, the more we're discovering new challenges coming up. So we thought if we had these kind of mastery accountability calls that we do on a recurring basis, we can hear from you, we can listen to you and learn about your challenges. That way we can go back, do our brainstorming sessions that we love to do, and come up with solutions that can help the community. So as Lifebook leaders, we want to support you on this journey. That's why we are here today. So before I give the mic to Carolina, who's going to speak next, I just want to make sure that you are all, if you haven't done Mastery yet, it's best if you complete Mastery before you find how can I say this, before you look for the challenges and how to solve them and blah, 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 because as Carolina is going to talk about right now, her theory of mastery and how mastery is important, but it's not the end of the Lifebook journey. And that's where we kind of start to struggle. So this is what we want to talk about today, but mostly we also want to listen to you. So I'm gonna stop speaking now and give it up to Carolina, who's going to introduce herself and then talk a little bit about her theory of mastery. Then we'll go to Jose and we'll continue from there. Carolina.
Thank you, Anna, and welcome everybody. I'm Carolina. I am Colombian, but I live in France. I've been living in France for the past 30 years, but now I'm currently visiting my parents in Colombia and my family. And I used to be a project manager on the event show business, traveling around the world. And now I've reconverted myself. I'm a life coach and I am a certified Lifebook leader. And I've been full-time working on that for the past 2 years. So very excited to have you all here for us three, so that we can share experience and so that perhaps we can give some support to the community on the understanding of the method of the mastery. And so I wanted to share my thoughts about the philosophy of the mastery. You see, we might have sometimes a clear vision, which is what we normally do on the first part of our journey here, which is the Lifebook, and gaining clarity on the categories and finding out the visions on each category to end up with a life vision. But a life vision, a goal, is nothing if we do not know where we're really going. So the mastery, even though it's a very clear method of how to achieve our life vision, is nothing if we don't really make it happen, and if we don't integrate that, and if we don't have clarity about that mastery. It's not enough just to go through it. It's not enough to answer the questions and having goals. If we don't know exactly where we're going, but if we don't start doing the job in order to getting there, then there's no point. And the beauty of this mastery is that it's a very clear and simple method, apparently. But what we figured out is that it's not that easy. We understand it's not that easy. And sometimes we're frustrated because we think our vision is clear, we've done the mastery, and yet we haven't been able to get to our life vision itself. So the point is actually to start living the lifestyle as soon as possible, getting better at this every day. The goal is not to be perfect at achieving the mastery or going through all the questions and having our book and having our life book and having our methodology or goals written, first goal, second goal, third goal. Because if we don't really integrate that on our everyday and waking up happy, knowing that we're living a lifestyle that we want, getting to our north, then there's no point of all this. And there's a lot of waste of energy. So that's what I call the philosophy of the mastery. It's not just going through the process of answering the questions and getting our list of goals, is of integrating it as a lifestyle and starting today to live the Lifebook lifestyle and getting to our north. Now there's a procedure, and it'd be really interesting for us to know, where are your pain points? Where is it that you're struggling? We're going to share where we struggled several years ago and how we overstepped those challenges and how we gotten into waking up every day and saying, okay, here we are. As long as it takes, we're living the happy life. We're living the Lifebook lifestyle. That's our goal today. So I'm going to go next to Jose, another Lifebook leader, to introduce himself and lead us to the following part.
Hello. My name is Jose Nadella. I've been a Lifebooker since year 2020 and a Lifebook leader since 2021. Let me introduce a little bit myself. I was born 48 years ago in Barcelona, and I have lived half of my life around the world, almost without interruption since the year 2000. In total, I've been living and working as financial manager in international construction projects in 13 different countries. But just before the pandemic, I quit my job, and now I'm helping people around the world as financial coach and also as a Lifebook leader, as a Lifebook coach. And what has been my experience with Lifebook mastery? As a financial guy, I like Excels. I love Excels, structure, organization. So for me, clarity and planning, it's impossible not to have it. I need clarity and planning, and having a clear perspective, it's also crucial for me. As I said, I love my Excels with everything clearly defined, but have I managed to keep that on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis? The truth is I have not managed all the time. For periods of time, I was very, very, very efficient. But sometimes when I was going on holidays or when I was going to visit my parents, I was losing this efficiency, and it was taking me forever to go back in track. It was taking me a lot of time to go back to my procedures, to my routines. And at this moment, I realized that keeping those Excels requires a lot of time. It was something that I was keeping from my past, my professional time past, but it's really needed. No, it's not needed. It wasn't requested. I realized that I require two main things. First, to have a proper manual of instructions, a clear, small, simple, not big, complicated manual of instructions for my goals, for my habits, for my routines. I'm a routine person. I have my morning routine, my evening routine. So that is what is working for me. And second, to have proper accountability. Accountability partners for me are crucial to keep the plan and to keep the execution in place, to make it happen, to make your Lifebook to happen, to make your lifestyle living happen. And of course, I am continuously learning, but I have managed to break some barriers and make my habits to be in support of my goals, and also to have authentic goals, my real goals, not the ones I believe the people want on me. So as you can see, I have advanced a lot in the planning and execution of my Lifebook, but there are still some challenges, difficulties all the time that need to be addressed. And I would like to give the time now for all of you in this call to explain to us, if you want, about your Lifebook mastery story, the wins, the challenges, the strategies that you are using, the ones that are working, the ones that aren't working. So if you want to share with us, you can raise your hand. We can give you the word. No volunteers. Then I think Carolina or Anna, you have to be the volunteer to explain your life of mastery story.
No problem. So I also started this adventure like 5 years ago, or almost 5 years ago. And the first part seemed quite easy, and I was very excited about doing that. Moni, what you just finished, which is the life book, the 12 categories. And you feel so excited about having all this clarity on, finally, I know what I want to do about so many things. That was the first version. And then I started the mastery immediately right after that and found it quite complicated and actually more challenging than the first part. And it was a bit overwhelming at first. And then I started working with an accountability group. And some of them are right here on this meeting right now, and I'm very grateful for them. Jose is one of my accountability partners. And so we started doing the mastery together and going through it again. And it became easier to understand the methodology itself. So that way we could start living the lifestyle while working on it. Because the thing is that sometimes when you start a career, for example, and let's say you're young and you start a career and you have to decide what is it that you want to study. And then you have to wait 5 years to get your diploma and to actually start working. And then you're a rookie all over again. So you're already 23, 24, 25, and you haven't even started yet, right? Well, the beauty about this mastery is that you can start, it's clear, but the beauty about the accountability is what I meant, is that you can start working on it right away. And so that's what we started doing, feeling the pleasure of living a lifestyle while working hard, but, you know, living our lives with the method, with the mastery, with the life book style lifestyle. So it took us some time. It took us a lot of time, I have to say, to gain better clarity of what the mastery is about. Like Jose shared, it's an everyday thing, and it's not because we've been here for 4 or 5 years. It's not because we've done this several times already that you can say all of a sudden like, oh, okay, it's done. The job is done, you know. No, this is a constant work. I mean, even our mentors, John and Macy, are still working on it, right? So we can always get better at it. But as the sooner you get the clarity, the sooner you can start knowing how the little things, you know, how to start working on it every single day. Well, the better you wake up every day and go to bed every night, like smiling and waking up smiling. And that's the whole point of this, right? This is why we're all here. So first of all, congratulations to everyone here. You, Moni, I think you're the rookiest of us all because you just finished your life book yesterday. So we congratulate you for being here because that means you're really committed to keep going on the process and because you really want to understand it and make it. And you know what? I congratulate you because you want to make it easier. And that's great. Because the easier we get there, the better, right? We have so much to do. We want so much, we want to achieve so much that the faster we gain clarity about how this works, then the easier our lives are going to be. That's the way I see it. I mean, I had this tool when I was a kid. Awesome. But now we have each other and we have this great community. And so the tool for us is the tool, the objective, what we're really looking for is that we all go together moving forward because the whole world needs us, right? We need to get clarity soon so that the whole world can follow. And so that's what we are aiming with this kind of reunions, meetings of us all gaining clarity. So that's my experience. Sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's easier, but knowing the tool is there. And it's like, this doesn't mean that we're 100% happy every day, but what this means, and when we have our downs, it's like a resorte. I don't know how you say this. It's like, you know, like you pull down and then it goes higher. So what we want to do is to go to a higher level every time. The way we learn is through challenges. It's not by reading a book. It's not by getting our diploma. It's not by getting our life book finished and printed. It's not by going through the mastery finished and printed. The way we grow, the way we get to a higher level is going through the challenges and accepting them, learning from them. But with this mastery tool, what we're certain of is that even though we're down here, we're going to get to a higher level. And that certainty changes everything because we are somehow more evolved, if I may say. It's like, having the certainty of we're going to get better and we're going to go to a higher level makes it easy. That's the way I see it. If anybody feels more courage now to share your challenges about either the Lifebook or the Mastery, please bring it on.
Yeah, Ramon wants to share. Did I hear someone else?
Yeah. My name is Marilyn,
Marilyn.
and I'm from Canada. It's a holiday today, so I'm able to join this meeting, and I find it like 99% of the meetings for Lifebook are during business hours. Like, do you all work? I can't join meetings other than in the evening. So am I missing a page somewhere or something like that? Can you comment on that? Thank you.
Yeah, sure, Marilyn. So it's really hard for us to find time that works for everyone, right? Because we're a global community, and it's been a challenge. Like, I'm in Dubai, and your evenings, it's my AM hours, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I don't know. So, but there are a lot of community members in the US or in your region. So what we want to do is encourage people to create your own also kind of calls like this. And if you can, when you can, join the ones that we're holding, just so you, and you can also, we will have recordings of some of these sessions, so you can have watch the recordings as well. But obviously it's just part of the community. So if anyone doesn't want to share, we usually on recording, we usually stop the recording early on these calls and allow them to share without recording them. But in many cases, because these videos aren't posted on YouTube or elsewhere, people do share them and we record them. So you can also watch the recordings, but they are more powerful if you join them. So I would invite people from across the the globe and find people in your regions. I can also talk to folks like champions or ambassadors in the US so that they can have more of these types of calls in your time zone, if that would be helpful.
If I may, Marilyn, do tell us which times are more convenient for you, because what we intend to do, since we're 3 and we're different countries, all of us, is to try to support in different timelines as well. So do tell us what is more convenient for you, and we'll try to figure out how to, make more calls on different timelines.
Yeah, for me, outside of business hours, so I work from 8:30 to 4:30, and so evenings would be preferable. So I guess I would say I'm on New York time, if that makes it easier.
Yeah, New York is easier than Seattle or San Francisco. So thanks, Marilyn. Ramona, you wanted to share?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, so I've been in the program now since January of 2019, and I was fortunate to immediately connect with 3 other Lifebookers. We called ourselves the Great Alliance for 3 years, and we met weekly in an accountability group, and we got to know each other very intimately. One of the gals in the group, her father at 99 years old died, and she lives in Trinidad. And actually had a live screening of the memorial service for all of us to be there. That's how tight-knit we became. And each of them have accomplished their goals, and I'm still working on mine. None of them are still in the Lifebook program, but I still am, because I felt like this was a community that helped to, when you say challenge, I have taken that word challenge and put it into opportunity. We are, when John and Missy broke down the program into 12 different categories, it's because all of these categories are very intricately wired transfused into our lives. It's like a thread, each of them are a thread in our life. And we live that regardless of whether we think we do or not. Each of those categories are continually, we are continually engaged in them. Whether we do it with intention or not, we're still involved. And I think what I found with the Lifebook community is that in the program is that by addressing each of these categories equally important. Okay, yeah, there might be times when you work on one more than you do the other, so like a priority, but each of them are equally important to being a balanced individual. And at times we want to accomplish something maybe romantically, or we want to accomplish something in our career. And I say those two things because typically or financially even, because typically what we can do is we can very easily identify those goals. And then we go after them, not taking into consideration what it might take to get them. And it's not just about doing, it's about being. Who are we becoming in the process? So if you continue to work at something and you continue to feel like you're being pulled back, it's an opportunity to really take a step back and say, okay, what's missing in my life right now? Why is this a challenge for me? What is it that I don't see that others might see? And then maybe ask for input. So that's one thing. The other thing is, I've been fortunate. I left my family in New Orleans back in 2018 and moved to St. Petersburg, Florida. And I didn't know, I knew one couple when I moved here. And they took me under their wing. They called me an honorary family member. They introduced me to all their friends and family. I'm invited to practically every event they do 5.5 years later. And my best friend, Mary Ann, is someone that I didn't know 5.5 years ago and 6 years ago. And she believes in me. So surrounding ourselves with people who see our potential, who aren't afraid to question our beliefs, who aren't afraid to, and I don't say judge them. I'm not talking about somebody who's going to just really judge you. I'm talking about questioning them. You know, having you begin to question yourself. Is this really who I am? And is this really what I want? Because it's really in the process, like I think it was Anna or Carolina, who said earlier, you know, it's in the process that we begin to see what's next for ourselves. So just writing things down on paper is not enough. You have to actually put it into action. And it's when you put it into action that you begin to see the next step, or you see another possibility, or you see another challenge / opportunity. So all of these things factor into becoming who, you know, becoming our best self, basically. So in 2019, I decided I wanted to write a book. And in 2021, my accountability group encouraged me to go to Puerto Rico for 6 months and start writing. 2.5 years later, I'm now, well, not even 2.5 years later, over 2 years later, I've completed the book. I've completed 2 edits on it myself, and I'm now submitting it to an editor and a friend of mine, my best friend who believes in me. I just made my 66th birthday on July 13th. And I asked her to go with me to a health club to sign up to become a member. So I did that. And she gave me this card. And I just want to say, surround yourself with people who believe in you the way that she believes in me. I want to read this card to you, and then I'll end it. But I just want to say, these are the kind of people you need to surround yourself with. This is written in the card. She actually found this all written already and said this card was meant for you. This is your year. Amazing stuff is going to happen. Just you wait. Between this birthday and the next, you're going to be inspired by life and the many blessings that come your way. Exciting stuff is going to happen. Doors will open. Triumphs will be toasted. How do I know? Just a feeling, I guess. A feeling that comes from knowing the believing, daring, hardworking person you are. Beautiful stuff is going to happen for you, around you, and especially because of you. Look for it, believe it, and know that no one could deserve it more. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ramona, and thanks for sharing. You're just reiterating what Carolina was saying. Clarity is really important because no matter what you do, if you don't have clarity, those doubts will creep in, and your every step will feel like, why am I doing this? Is this the right thing? And yes, surrounding yourself with the right people is very important. Thank you so much, Ramona. David.
Hi guys. I just want to throw my own tuppence worth in. I know we're talking about mastery and the challenges that people have with mastery. I'm fortunate enough that I've gone through Lifebook in different guises, in the sense that I've done it online where I'm doing it by myself. I've been to Barcelona where I done a 4-day intense course. I actually am a Lifebook leader, so I teach Lifebook within the United Nations. So I've seen it in different ways of doing it. And one of the challenges people have if you're trying to do it by yourself, that's why it's so important, and people have said it here many times, to surround yourself with like-minded people and a group of people that can support you. And that's why accountability groups are very important. Like, we know that Lifebook is not just about the first part where you're creating your vision. You need to take that vision and go on and take it through mastery and create your plan. And then after you have your plan, you need to then continue to the third step, which is achieving that plan. And what I found is that, especially when I teach it in the United Nations, that some people, they will create their vision, but they don't necessarily go on to do mastery. And it's great that they have a vision, but that's all that is the vision. It doesn't mean that they won't achieve anything in that vision, but it just makes it harder if they haven't gone and put a plan in place. But the ones that do go on to mastery and do create a plan, and then they start to sort of implement that plan, this is where it all comes alive. And the fact that we have a community here, as well as those people being part of the Lifebook community, that's what's going to make this happen for you. So I don't know how you've all, done your Lifebook program, but I can just advise you to start connecting with people and start, getting into an accountability group if you can, or start surrounding yourself with different people. Like, for myself as a Lifebook leader, I was a Lifebook leader that was sort of just working by myself as a Lifebook leader. And then at the beginning of this year, a lot of the Lifebook leaders, Carolina, how they know, we came together in Lisbon, and it was just fantastic to meet like-minded people and to connect. And it sort of gives energy to move forward. And, attending retreats. So I've reached retirement age with the UN, and I'll be retiring very shortly. And my vision is to run Lifebook retreat. So, because I see that's the power, surrounding yourself with like-minded people. And, my sort of focus and my goal is to inspire and motivate people and to be of service through Lifebook. So that's all I just want to say, connect with other people, and but certainly do the mastery. And once you've done the mastery, the next thing is to try and achieve that. And you can achieve it by yourself, of course, but it just makes it easier if you've got somebody, there with you.
Thank you so much for sharing, David. Yes, accountability is really powerful. I can attest to that. And one of the things that actually made me realize most of the things on my life vision was when I got the accountability group. I've done Lifebook for over 18 months, I would say almost 2 years. And I was really struggling to, take the plan I created in mastery and take steps on it. I was like, okay, what's the next step? How can I do this? And it felt overwhelming. I had 12 areas to improve and whatnot. But the moment I joined an accountability group, it became easier. each month we would choose one overriding goal and work on it. And because of the group, it's what I found, the accountability group is not just the support and that they believe in you, but also that sense of, oh, we have a meeting next week. I need to show them that I did something, you know, that kind of, you know, that part of your ego, you can trigger that with the group accountability group. So that's also helpful. So thanks for sharing, David, really insightful. Hopefully we can do a retreat together someday. Diamond.
You never know. That would be good.
Yeah, it would.
Did you say my name? Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you, but your voice is a little bit bumpy. Yeah, I think there's wind.
Okay, let me try something. How about now? Is that better?
A little better, yeah.
Okay, so the area is not great in the reception. Sorry about that. So I'm speaking from Virginia, USA. Hello, everybody. I'm coming from a different space than everyone that shared. I'm actually new. This is my first round. I've already completed the mastery, the envision, the planning, and I'm hearing a lot about the accountability part, and I would love to hear how you guys started to make your connections with the Life Group platform, with your accountability groups. I saw that they had videos. I watched the videos. I posted something in the chat, but in terms of how did you guys, you know, make your connections in that space? I'm not too familiar yet.
Yeah, that's a really good question, Diamond, because I actually did struggle to find my accountability group for those years, because it's not easy to find. Like, yeah, we do say that this community is a community of like-minded people, but when it comes to your goals and your projects, you really need to connect with the right people. And I found that, and I want to hear from Jose and Carolina as well, how they found each other and other members. I found that the more of these workshops that I did and attended, that's where I found the right people. Because who are the people who attended my workshops, or which workshops did I attend? The ones that speak to my life vision, right? I'm attending a workshop that helps me with my health and fitness, let's say. So that's where you connect with people with the similar goals. So the more you attend these kinds of workshops, or the more you are active on the community on posts, the more you get to know people. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, just like Ramona, I've seen her in most calls, you know? So you get to make friends. At some point you're like, hey, if you don't have an accountability partner, I would like to be your accountability partner. And funny enough, I do have my Lifebook accountability group, but I also found members from, like, friends, I would call them friends now, from other communities where we were gathered because we needed to work on a specific project. And now I have accountability buddies separate who I meet once a month, once a week, depending on the person. So the more social you are, the more you will find the right people, if that helps. Carolina, if you want to share.
Yes, I would like to add something. So Diamond, I think that it always helps. I always like to step myself from the philosophical point of view, stepping a little bit back and seeing from a different perspective. So it's great that you are moving forward, and it doesn't matter how much you've been on the process. We're all the same. We're working on it. Sometimes I would say that it's not that important to have the same goals in order to find your accountability group that is going to take you to a step forward. Like my accountability group didn't really back then have much in common apart from wanting to getting through the mastery together and just becoming good, I mean, life bookers, the best as we could. That's all we needed. Almost 2 years later, we're very good friends right now. We know everything about our lives, and we do not have much goals in common from a certain point of view. So don't be so picky at first. If you don't find one, come here every week and join us. Give us your questions. We can be your accountability group. Nothing should stop us. What we're looking for here, what we're aiming for is not giving an alphabetical order list of the problems, but finding solutions. So you don't have your accountability group yet? Come here. We'll be your accountability group. We're here for you. We're going to get you to the next step. If you have any doubts, share them with us. You know, I'm hearing a little bit, I want to hear Jose's point of view as well, but I want to also listen about like the main problems that are like, what is wrong with the mastery? Why can I go further? What is it? So, yeah.
Diamond, I will tell you more or less similar than they said. You know, Carolina and myself, we met in one call with Alex that he said, I'm going to make break rooms and there will be 3 people in the break room and just make sure if you are fitting together, because usually the hardest part is the time zone, that you are able to in the same time zone. So it is that is one of the things. But also is what Carolina says, in this kind of groups is where you meet people. But I'm going to give you also another possible thing. You know, I am posting in the chat here. There is a link. There is kind of a wall in the Livebook community when you can post yourself. Just, I don't know, my name is Diamond. I am living in that area zone. I am looking for accountability partners, and there also you can have the possibility, because usually the people there is posting like, I'm that person, I live here, I'm looking for an accountability partner, so that also can find. But as Carolina and Anna said, the easier it's always in this kind of live calls where we can meet. And I think Marilyn had the hand raised.
If I may, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your input. And one last question, if I may. Do I have to be a book leader to contribute and create a workshop?
No, you don't need to be. Usually the champions run workshops, so you can come to me with your ideas and I can see which category it works with, so I can direct you to the right champion, but you can host your own meetings, but it has to be through us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Marilyn?
I'm just wondering if anyone else feels this way. I'm struggling with the fact that I feel like I need to make more money to be successful at doing this. Like, I don't have anything to sell. I don't have a business plan that would make me more successful so I can afford to do all the things that I want to do. Am I missing something there?
I would say your focus might be on the wrong thing. What is it? What's your life vision? Is it to make money, or is it? So what is in your life vision? How different it is from today, with your life today?
Well, it's not to make money, but I mean, retirement is coming up, so that's something, you know, to have something that continues to bring income. But when I listen to John and Missy, they often talk about, I always feel like the underlying thing is you have to have a business plan when they talk about things. And I'm like, well, until I figure that out, I'm kind of on an island of my own. I just feel like I'm on an island on so many ways because that, and because I can't seem to find groups to join that want to do it in the evening during my times. People seem to be in these exotic places like Dubai. and yeah, it just so happens that it's a holiday in Canada today. That's how I can join you today.
May I, Anna? Yes, Marilyn, that's really sweet that you're sharing that with us. Thank you for that, because we know it's never that easy to share our vulnerability, right? So this is amazing. Thank you. Now, I think that this is great because the way to give space to what really is important to you is to have the balance of all the categories. The way I see it, that's the beauty of our life book. is that once you get all the balance and all, like you go like check, 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 check. That is exactly when you get that space to go further on what really is important for you so that you can focus and put your heart and your soul in it. If you feel like your financial part is not totally balanced yet, I would take some time to look at it without forgetting where your north is. You have already done this once. I don't know, it'd be interesting to know how, when you started all this process, but that's how we feel, that's how we know we have to look at that a little bit more so that we can get the piece on it and go back to our main goal, go back to where our north, our real north is. So money is an issue for everyone, isn't it, on this kind of world? John and Missy do talk about those business plans, but they have changed a little bit from when they started the process to when they created the videos to now. And society has changed, world finances have changed. So even though that's the way they got their piece over here, we need to find our own piece, each one of us. And what is it that you want on our financials? Are you still looking to have some tranquility when you are older? Or, you know, it's important to gain clarity on that. But if you're feeling unease on that category, that's your way of you telling you that you do need to pay some attention to that and gain some clarity. Does this help, Marilyn?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, Marilyn, just know that when you're confused, the answers are within you. As Carolina said, find clarity, and it's not out there. Like, not with John and Missy, not in books, not in the even in this call. Like we try to support you, but we can't give you the answers. Like, we can coach you to find your own answers, because it has to come from within, as Carolina said. Like, do you really need the business plan? Do you really need any strategy? If you're not clear, the strategy might be wrong. Like, someone might say, I need a car. And I might ask them why. They might say, because I want to go to work. And then they might say, my work is actually just 5 minutes walk. I'm like, you don't need a car, maybe a bike, maybe you walk, you know? Don't just look at the strategies that others are using. Find out what you really want, like what that retirement looks like, and what would be, let's say, the minimum that will make you really happy with your retirement. You don't need, maybe you want, obviously there's no wrong to want a yacht, to want whatever. And I'm not in, Dubai isn't that exotic, trust me, I live in the rural areas. So, but figure out what you really truly want as Marilyn for her retirement. How do you imagine that? And then you can have a plan, whether it's a business plan, whether it's a retirement plan, whatever you want to call it. And we're always here to support you. I know the time zone is a little weird. We'll try and figure it out, something out, as Carolina said. So you said New York evenings. I'll check if we can make something happen.
I'm sorry, I do have to say something else, Marilyn, because this is important. We have been several years on this, and people that have been doing the job, right? Putting the energy in and trying to follow as best as we can, like the accountability, the goals, the overriding goal, and, you know, all the methodology here, do get to the live visions more and more. The more I am on this community, and the more I share with my colleagues and my leaders, fellow leaders, and those who have been here for several years, we all get there. Not if we stay back and just try to manifest things to happen to us. No, if we do the job, I've seen many live visions come true, my own. And not the first time. This is like the second year in a row where I feel like, oh, this is kind of scary. It gave the goosebumps, because what I written on my first live vision has already happened. What I went through my second live vision is already happening. So this works. I just needed to add that.
Ramona, you can go ahead.
Yes, if I may just elaborate on a couple of things that were said. There was who was it that was looking for an accountability group? Is she still with us? There are, I noticed just in the past week, a number of women posting on accountability, the website that that Jose put up, the link. A number of women have posted that they're looking for people to join their accountability group. So if I may recommend that you check into that and see if you connect with that. The other thing I want to mention is for people who are coming into the, well, first of all, you know, the world says, why don't you, when you ask people, why don't you accomplish your goals? The two biggest things are time and money. Now, whether that's changed in the past 10 years, I don't know, but it just always seemed like time and money were always the issues. For Marilyn, you mentioned that you have a job, so that's good. And it seems to me from what you said that you're concerned about your retirement and producing money in the future when you do retire, but that is not yet. And so the blessing is that you have a job and you're making money. And you have the time now, because you have the income, to work on what you're going to do in the future. Now, Anna mentioned something about it, and it had to do with, I can't specifically remember exactly what you said, Anna, but what my intuitive nature brought to me was, Marilyn, for you to focus on your quality of life. How do you want your quality of life to look when you retire? And come backwards from that, you know, and start to implement that quality of life today in your life and see what sparks your interest and light, you know, and ignites your passion. And that might trigger an avenue for you to seek some kind of work that you truly love to do, where you can get the kind of money you need in order to retire in the state of, and the quality that you want to retire. And the other thing is the Lifebook Mastery Program. That is so crucial, having an overriding goal and a foundational goal. And your sacred choices are so important, because what you find when you list your 12 sacred choices is sometimes you don't have to list 12. Sometimes you can list only 5 and take them in smaller bits and chunks. And what you begin to encounter when you start achieving or trying to achieve these sacred habits every day or weekly, what you come to face with what it is your mind is doing and saying that prevents you from achieving the things that you really want. So when you say, I'm going to do this every day, and then you don't, the question is why? And to investigate that, like Anna said, within yourself. Look within for the answer, because that's what's going to provide you with the answer. And then determining what that underlying belief is to address that and write a new affirmation or something that's going to transform you spiritually and propel you into this new state of being. And that's really crucial. But quality of life, I believe, Marilyn, is a place for you to come from when designing your retirement. And like I said, if you start implementing that now, I believe it's going to really spark some interest. It's going to light your fire. It's going to, you know, make your heart come alive. And I think you'll be able to see then what would be a good, you know, position for you to make money in your retirement, which would be which wouldn't be retirement, but retirement from the job that you have.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Ramona. Hope that helped, Marilyn. And as I said, I'll do my best to find some people who can accommodate calls during your time zone.
I would like to briefly know like this, like if everybody could share with us briefly, like if you feel that you are already living the lifestyle, the Lifebook lifestyle. Can you, say, are you? David, you are?
Oh yeah, I am. Mm-hmm.
Ramona? Mm-hmm. Botica, what about you? Eddie, Diamond, what do you guys think? Is there anything like really, oh, hello, Godson, nice to see your face. Yeah, good, yeah. Who would feel comfortable saying, yes, I got it. I know what to do with the mastery.
Cool.
I feel pretty good saying, yes, I got it. I think for me, since I'm new, it's just doing the execution phase. I'm going to discover where I need to work on it. But right now, I feel pretty confident.
I think it takes a while to really get the mastery. And I mentioned the funnel of focus is so important in the mastery program, because as you implement this in your daily life, eventually it becomes a way of life. So you don't have to think about it anymore. But the point is that when you start implementing this into your way of life, what happens is the things that are not aligned with your life vision start to shed away over time. And that's what they refer to as the funnel of focus, is that over time, these things just start to leave you. You know, you might not even be aware of that they're leaving you, but you know, it's a practice and it's not going to happen overnight. But nothing of value does, or very little of value does.
If I can share, one of the biggest breakthroughs already for me, even just being in person, was exactly what Ramona shared about sacred choices, overriding goal. Like the way John and Misty get so deep, it allows you to really connect with what you want and what it takes to get there. And even in that process for me, a lot of the stuck points I had before even coming to this platform already faded away, like you just mentioned, Ramona, because I got to get clarity.
Yeah, we lost her again. Godson's got his hand.
Lost you. Lost you, Godson. Diamond, please, Godson.
Yeah. Sorry, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Good. Ramona, nice to see you guys again. And Anna, I think it's been a long time seeing Anna. Good. I just want to say that I've joined the Life Book. It's almost 2 years now. And I joined it when I had taken voluntary retirement program. A very difficult decision to make when I had some more years to stay in a job.
Yeah.
And I just want to share this, and I think I want Marina to be confident. There isn't so much in terms of retirement. There's that initial fear, but be rest assured, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
So I took the plunge to take it. And to take it, there was just one thing for me: the quality of life, my family. That was the core thing. And that was when I had Ezina, you know Ezina very well. She now came in and introduced us to the Life Book. And she now became even my accountability partner and led me through for Young UM. I must say, like John and Missy said, if you have a structure and process in place, you'll be fine. And you are flexible because you can never be perfect. Perfection comes with the friction of time. Every day I check my sacred habits. I have 12 of them. Every month I look at my target. Every quarter I review my goals. Every year I review my vision. So there is a process. I'm not saying I've got there yet, but I could see a sense of, you have this inner feel, in the inner, joy and fulfillment, that you, even when you are not there yet, you will get there. And like Ramona said and Anna said, these 12 categories, they are interrelated. Whether you like it or not, you live the life of one. You will live the life of all of them. And I've done a research and found out that you find some other programs where they say seven categories, but you find these 12 categories and kind of incorporate everything about life. And for me, I think I decided to stay with the Life Book. And having Ezina, I'm sorry to mention her name, but she became my accountability. It also took me through these 2 years as a transition from just taking a retirement and now redefining myself, rediscovering myself, redefining myself for the quality of life that I really want to live in retirement. And I know sometimes it's difficult. Oh, I've not done this. I have not done this. I've not achieved this. Oh, I don't have the skill to go be active in retirement. You find out that you have it. Just sit down, look at your goals again. Look at who you are. Because God has created each of us with a potential. You just have to sit down, rediscover yourself, and find that potential, and it will be a seller point for you. So, Marina, there's nothing about it in terms of retirement. I'm into it. I'm still very active, so to say, but I think you're going to love it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gatsan. You used one word which is very important, process, because the plan is just a plan. It's just on paper. If you don't have a process, if you don't have systems, that plan is going to remain just ink on paper. So that's really huge. Thanks for sharing. Latika.
Yes. So thank you to all the Lifebook leaders for this meeting, and Ramona and Carolina. It's been very helpful. I learned a lot today. What I wanted to say is that I have not fully been able to integrate and activate all the 12 categories, and I have been in Lifebook now for 2 years. What I have been really working on is my money with the Life Angels, with Wealth Angels, and it's taking a lot of work to coordinate all the categories of life. And I also can relate to how Marilyn is feeling, because I am on one income and one salary, and it is hard managing the time and energy with that work and doing the Lifebook, and also family members that are aging and need you whenever. So it's really hard, and I relate to her. Also, I feel that, to really live my life vision, ultimately, I have to create a side hustle, because I don't want to do a job any longer after I have been introduced to Lifebook. But figuring out what I can, do as a side hustle in the beginning, and then later move it as a full-time work is I need to create time and space for that. So I'm not getting there. But what I've started is, I have a very good sense of my money management in the 2 years that I've been working on. So it's a big, long process. And I think it'll take me another year or two to fully activate and live a proper Lifebook lifestyle.
Thank you for sharing, Latika. I think that is very courageous from you, but I would like to say something to you, is do not lose your north. It's not because you don't feel 100% comfortable in your financial life that you still do not have a north. Probably more important than that. My own experience is that as a coach, and with the clients that I've worked with and the communities that I've worked with and myself, is that even though the financial part of our lives is very strong in everyone, and it takes a lot of space, my experience says that that is not our north. That is something that we have to go like this, like this, like this. I'm not saying do not work on it. I'm saying work on it, but put your soul where your north is. And don't forget where you're going. Because if you're waiting for that to be accomplished and the way you like it, let me just give you something in advance, is that it's never 100%. So we might not never achieve 100% those kinds of expectations. The more clear expectations we have about things, the more frustrated we can get. Now, don't take me wrong, goals are important, which is why Ana, Jose, and I are teaming together in order to create concrete two-dimension tools, concrete things to help us, to support us in order to get to those goals in a more practical, effective way. But it is important for you to know where your north, by that I mean your heart, is. Okay. Our lives are limited.
Yes.
So you need to go to where you're going, not letting that financial part away, but
Yeah. Thank you. Got it.
Latika, I wanted to add one thing more. I'm a financial expert on that. So I have to tell you that you are already making a good thing, that you are already aware that maybe you will need a second source of income for your financial life. Okay. So that it's already a good success. And for that, you have to check things that you like to do. Okay, things that you are happy to do, that it's not even a job, that it's something that you are passionate and you enjoy it, and things that you are good. For sure, if you are passionate and you enjoy it, you are good and you become, you will become much more better on that. So as Carolina was saying, you know, financial category in the world we live, it seems that is like the mother of everything. Like you have to need more, have money for finance everything else in your life, otherwise you cannot have a life. But it's not true. It is your North Star. It's the important one. What is making you happy in life? But it's also important to be aware of having maybe more than one source of income.
Yes, sorry. I
Yeah.
just want to be anchored correctly in that section, you know, learning through Lifebook, so that I can take a leap.
Yeah.
To the
You-
next,
You want to feel secure. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yes, yes, yes.
I like to recommend this book, you guys. I started reading it this summer, called Next. It's by Joanne Littman. She's a former editor and reporter in here in America. And it's called Next, The Power of Reinvention in Life and Work. And she's actually interviewed a number of people, Alan Greenspan, for one, who was a 5-term chairman of the Federal Reserve, and other very famous people who have reinvented themselves in life and achieved great success. And at the time that they were doing it, they didn't even know that they were doing it. But it's like you pull from your experiences to build what you're going to be doing next, in a sense. And the one thing I also want to mention is something that Anna said earlier that was really impressive, Anna. You mentioned how you have your accountability group, but then you have a lot of people in your life who you're accountable to for various aspects of your life. That's how I heard it. And basically just in the process of hearing that, it's almost as though you recreated your definition of friendship. You've got friends now, you call them accountability partners in a sense, but they're your friends. And so you've redefined friendship in your life. And these are people who don't pull any punches. You talk about the real issues that are important, and you encourage and support each other. And this is what we want our lives to become. You know, we want to have those quality relationships where we can sit down at any time and sure, you know, have a shot of tequila if that's what you like to do, or go swimming in the beach, or, you know, whatever you want to do, play tennis or pickleball, whatever. But at the same time, be able to connect at a deeper level and know that you believe in each other, you care for each other, you support each other, and most of all, love each other.
Just to add to Ramona, after being in meetings, for example, with Lifebookers in different places in the world, apart on that, it's people that speak your language, that exactly has the same language as you have, that whenever you want to explain something, in a couple of sentences, they already understand you. Then your best friends that know you from all your life, you can be hours and hours and still they will not understand you. So it's also nice to be talking with people that is having the same language as you have.
Yeah. Thank you.
I want to add something here. I know we're sharing right now are strategies, and this can be a challenge. Like, I turned 40 this year and I didn't have friends for most of my life. And for me, it was a challenge finding the right people. So when someone gives me an advice and says, find the people who speak your language, I'm like, I don't know how, you know? So I don't want the strategies that we're giving to become a challenge as well. That's why go within. First things first, know who you are, know what your values are, know what frustrates you, know what you will regret. Like, I've spent most of my life trying to figure out how to live a life with no regrets. And it's not an easy thing, but the most important thing, what is the most important thing? I want you to ask that. If you're right now on your deathbed, what is the most important thing? Is it that life vision that was the villa and the yacht and the traveling and all those things? Or what are you going to regret? Will you have guilt? Will you be blaming yourself or someone else? Like, what is going to make you regret things in life, right? So that's where you start. Life is simple, really supposed to be simple, but the noise of the world is really distracting us. That's why I keep inviting people to gain clarity on your own. Yes, I know Ramona shared a book, and thank you for that. But before reading any books, before even listening to any workshops, find out who you are, what you really want, and then the right resource will be the right tool for you to take that next step. And I know we're, past the time, but I want to share something that I probably shared only with a few of my accountability buddies and my friends, as Ramona called them. They are truly my friends. I went through a financial crisis this year. I haven't been doing my sacred choices or any of those, and all my goals were just frozen for a few months between February, March, and April. Because, yes, I moved to Dubai because I lived in Lebanon, and David knows how life is in Lebanon. It became so unbearable that I had to leave and I have to go somewhere. And I came here because this is familiar to me, but it's a very challenging, thing to do. Just move countries. I grew up in Lebanon for almost 39 years. So I moved to a new country, a very expensive country. I had one source of income, and it was scary. It was so scary that I wasn't able to sleep. I was thinking about the money all the time, and I was stressing about it. And I've never had money issues. Like when I did Lifebook 5 years ago, my PVPS, my premises for money were like perfect, not a single limiting belief. When I was a child, I believed that the last the last bill I took out of my wallet, the universe is going to give me more money. And it was like that. But where did this come from? Where did this fear come from? I didn't know. Then I realized it was the pressure from the world around me, because the coaches and the Lifebook leaders who graduated with me, they were making money from those businesses while I wasn't. I felt like I'm stuck in my day job. It was scary. But I couldn't get out of that spiral until I said, Anna, what do you want on your deathbed? What is look at your life vision. What can you remove and still be happy? And I realized I didn't think any of them. And I tell this as a funny story now to my family. It's like, if I have a small hut with a few chicken, I'm good to go. Like my chicken, my eggs, my garden, I grew up in a village, so I know how to, grow food. So that's it. I don't need more than that. And how much money do I need to make that happen? Not much, apparently. So that took the weight off my shoulder. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go and do that. But if I end there, like that's my worst case scenario, I'll still be happy. So I hope this story can inspire you a little bit. But it was hard for me to share. But yeah, it all comes down to what you truly want. Don't let the world, the noise of the world, make you forget what really matters to you. Because in the end, what are we going to regret? When I started coaching with my day job, I was so exhausted at the end of the day, I didn't have enough time. I said, Anna, you're going to regret not spending time with your family. I kept canceling dinner with friends and family because I had work. I'm going to regret those, right? There's no balance with the 12 categories. So that is the most important thing. And speaking of challenges, I want to remind each one of us, including myself, we are not machines. Like a calculator, you can punch numbers and operations in there. It's going to give you the right answer almost all the time, unless it's broken or the battery dies. We're not machines. We have so many aspects. You wake up groggy, you wake up sleepy, you wake up hungry, you wake up angry. it's gonna throw your plans out the window. Those are the challenges we're talking about here. You know, like we can have a perfect plan, but then why am I not taking steps? It's simple. It says, call your friend. Can't we do that? How often we don't do it? Because of all the things that we're have inside us, right? So emotions, spiritual, ego, you know, all of it shows up. So we need to learn gradually how to cope with all these aspects of ourselves and not be hard on ourselves. And then we are here to support you. If you ever go down that spiral, which wasn't something fun, honestly, I tell you, I hope you know that we are here for you. Even if there are no calls like this, remember our names, come find us on the platform, message us, we are here for you, okay? And I wanna launch a poll. And I don't know if Carolina has something to say.
I do, thank you, yes. I love what you just shared, Anna. I think that's most helpful than any methodology that we could ever have. And it's brilliant because I was going to suggest for all of us to come up next week or next time we meet, or eventually just to do it on your own if you cannot join again. Your live vision, the B-sides. How can you say that? Meaning, let's try to do exactly what you were suggesting about what is really important for us. It's what I call our north. That's why let's try at least to once come up with another version of our live vision, which is simple, very simple live vision, but that is really aligned with us. Not the one that is taking us to buying a house or having whatever I want to have when I grow up or when I grow older. This is the minimum that I would like to have, and define that as a live vision. Let's keep that here, but let's have a live vision version B, which is very simple. What is it that is really aligned with us? That kind of peace that Anna was talking about. Because in order to have a very good lifestyle, it's gaining peace with that, and is having the clarity of what's really important for us. So when our emotions are telling us things, it's a way to telling us, you know, that's too complicated, you know, that's not really taking us where it was. You know, if finances is taking our sleep away, it's because our emotions are trying to say, that's not the way. It's probably because we're paying too much attention to that. And that might take our sleep away. So great about feeling the pulse, so we can find out where is it that we're struggling more with the methodology of the mastery itself. But let's all try to have a version B, a simpler version B of our live vision, to keep working from that next time we see each other. It's been a long meeting, so I think we need to start wrapping up. Anna, what do you think? Jose, if you want to add something else.
Yeah, okay. It is time to wrap up. I know that some people were here to ask about our retreat in Dubai. So as we said at the beginning, we have gone through a lot in the past few years, the three of us, and we've come up with solutions to many of the challenges that we mentioned today. And we want to share it with the community. We'll do workshops, obviously, and we'll use these meetups as well. But since Carolina is amazing at creating retreats and she wanted to host something in Dubai, we're collaborating on a Dubai retreat this November. It's actually October 31st. And I don't want to talk too much about it. It's just how we can take our life vision and turn it into a three-dimensional thing. We don't talk in this retreat. We're all about action. It's workshops. We want to make sure that you gain clarity and perspective, which is what we focused on today, which is the most important thing. You cannot do that. How can you take action on something if you're not clear of your direction, right? Like, you need to know. And my favorite quote is, if you know what you're doing, you can figure out the best way of doing it. If you know, you need to know what you're doing. The next they were going to work on what we call your manual of instructions. This is where you create not just a plan, but put in processes and systems that will help you, even if you're not in the right state of being. When you have a checklist, it's going to help you take the next step, because you're not going to doubt, because you have already made that decision before. So this is crucial, and it's something tangible you're going to take with you home. The third day, we're going to focus more on breaking those barriers to achievement, because again, the plan isn't enough. We need to know what is sabotaging us, and we need to work on that. So that's where the art of achievement came from, because it is really important to understand that achievement is not just doing things. We don't want to do busy work anymore, more non-essential work. That's what taking away our time. We want to focus on achieving our life vision. And well, that shouldn't be complicated, but there are, as we said, roadblocks and saboteurs, and we can work through them. And the last day, we're going to just make it happen. Again, we're going to give you a lot of tools, tangible things you take home that will help you take the next step no matter what. And the retreat starts actually in October with virtual retreat, where we start the clarity activities, and then we're going to continue November until Alex starts his strong challenge with accountability calls to make sure that you are using these tools. So let's take your life book and make it tangible. Ramona, you had questions?
Yes, ma'am. Hi. First of all, I wanted to ask you, is this going to be a in-person event? Because I'm not going to be making it to Dubai. So
Yeah,
it's in person.
So the virtual ones and the accountability are virtual, but the actual retreat, which is the entire thing altogether, yeah, it is in person. And I can share the link to the info page where you can find information. And if you have more questions, you can also register here.
Maybe I need to overcome a limited belief in order to get to Dubai.
Sorry?
Yeah, one more question for you.
Sure.
With regard to your plan B, you know, your life vision and then your plan B. I know one of the things that Vishen Lakhiani says in his 6-phase meditation is that we overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year and underestimate what we can accomplish in 3. And so my question to you is it important to have a plan B, or maybe it's just a matter of extending the deadline?
It's, I'm sorry, the plan B, it's coming from putting yourself from a different perspective, Ramona. It's trying to see it from a different point of view. Because when we see things from the same point of view today, tomorrow, yesterday, a month ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, we're going to find the same kind of solutions, the same kind of goals, the same kind of, this is what I need, this is what I want. Because probably when we were 10 or 15, we were lacking money, or we were wanting to have some more money or whatever. I'm just giving the example of money. We just decided that our main goals are related to money, for example. But when we try to do the exercise that Anna had to go through life recently, putting herself in a different perspective, say, okay, what if I do not have this certainty of my money plan totally achieved? That's what I'm inviting you to do, to put yourself from a different perspective and say, okay, I'm about to die. Was that important? Was it important to spend all that time doing this, or was it important to spend more time with my family? Was it important to trying to achieve all these goals and trying to be perfect as everything as we normally try to do as human beings, right? Having all these expectations, and then again, having all these frustrations because we cannot achieve all those. And so we're hard to ourselves, like, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm not getting there. And I totally could if I spent more time, if I was more disciplined, if I blah, blah. And so we just go like this and try to achieve our plan A, life vision. So what I'm trying to invite you is to, let's try to put ourselves from here. And let's focus, what would be a plan B? What would a plan B look like of a life vision? Let's give it a try.
Well, I do have a concern about that, because, You know, one of the things that John and Missy talk about is when you travel to, you know, like when, if your life vision is an island and you get to the island, he talks about burning the boats, you know, so that you don't deviate from that. So I'm just concerned that by having a plan B, that we're not going to be living out our full potential. I mean, I get where you're coming from with respect, you know, life throws us a bunch, what do they say? Life happens. They have other terms for that too, but life happens. And sometimes it's just an opportunity to sort of sit back and sort of regroup and get, you know, address other issues, but you don't have to, like you said, the North Star. You can still have that North Star, which is the ultimate vision, and still have quality relationship with your family and do all of this. And
Absolutely, Ramona. This is not different. I'm not telling you don't do that. I'm inviting you to look at that North Star and that main vision while working on it. This is why the three of us came together, because we come from different perspectives. You know, Anna's so great at the strategies. Jose is incredible with being so practical. And I come from more from a bit of the spiritual point of view, trying to like, okay, let's get the three of us together because we need to do our jobs every day. I'm not saying, oh, you know, because finances are not important and what I want is then we're good. Oh, no, I'm a very hard worker, Ramona. But this is why I like having practical tools, knowing how to keep going in a very practical and effective way on my goals, on what do I need to achieve in order for me to get to that tranquility, feeling if I die tomorrow, if I die, I'm going to be great. I'm going to be feeling like, you know what, great job. Not feeling like I'm so frustrating, but I want to wake up every day knowing what to do today, tomorrow, in a year's time. That's why I love working with them too, because it's being able to have this perspective and feeling more aligned to my inner self while doing the job. This is what will make my job easier. This is why I want to wake up every morning saying this is not about discipline. If I'm not there, it's because I'm not disciplined enough. No, it's about gaining the clarity in every of my categories, but having my heart in it from the beginning, because otherwise I'm going against myself. So this is, does it make any sense?
I think what I'm hearing from you is, and it's one of the things that John and Missy talk about too, when you go after certain goals, sometimes when in the process you realize that those aren't really the ones you want. And so it's about, you know, it's about that as well. And I got COVID about 10 days ago, and first 5 days were really rough. And then I just started working on my book because I said, you know, I need to finish the second edit. And I used this opportunity with COVID to just persevere and just keep going and focus on my goal and take care of my health and do all that I was supposed to do. So, and what happens over time too, is you begin to settle into that peace like you talked about, because I'm very spiritual as well. I'm an empath, and you begin to settle I began to settle into a peace, knowing that my goal is in fact in line with what God has intended for me. So it's being at peace with what my life mission is, and knowing that it might not happen within the time frame that I want it to happen, but it doesn't mean to give up. It means, you know, in my book, I talk about doing things inch by inch or 14 seconds at a time. So, you know, as long as I say, you know, if you watch a caterpillar cross the sidewalk, he eventually gets to where he's going, right? And, you know, or an inchworm. So the point is that as long as you keep moving in the positive direction with peace, knowing that eventually you'll get there, we'll be well.
Absolutely, Ramona. That's exactly what we meant with, I think when Carolina says plan B, what we mean is another version of your life vision. And the idea came from actually an activity that we did here in Dubai in a Lifebook meetup, where we said, and I'm going to do this workshop in the community here as well, write your life vision from the perspective of your higher self. Because most of the time when we're writing our life vision the first time, it's the ego. Like if you have a lot of material stuff in there, it's probably the ego. So it was eye-opening when we did it from the perspective of the higher self. And what is interesting is that when you mentioned your full potential, right? Like, I believe we have a lot of potential, but guess what my higher self told me? My higher self said, Anna, if you die tomorrow, or if you die 100 years and you don't achieve your full potential or whatever you feel like you want to give to this world, I still love you. You're still okay. And that was such a relief, because I felt like I need to do this. Why am I postponing? Why is, life happening? What's going on? When is this going to happen? Because I feel it's calling in my soul. But because I was questioning it and afraid that I will die and not able to do it, I was actually holding myself back, right? But when my higher self told me, Anna, I love you no matter what, now I do it, whatever I do toward that, it's inspired action instead of forced action, right? So that's what we want you to do with your life vision. If you haven't written it from your higher self perspective, we want you to do that. Just have those two versions. Like, you are a full being. The ego is part of you. And there's nothing wrong to want the material stuff. But again, no, if you don't want to have regrets, you don't want to get attached to the results, remember to enjoy the journey as well, right?
I think it goes hand in hand with what you're saying, with what John and Missy say. When you have a
I
winning,
just wanted to
sorry.
I think
Well-
that we're asking some questions to the audience here, and we have the results. I wanted to share the results with you. So if you see, we were asking, what are your major challenges related mainly with mastery? Clearly, it is about discipline and commitment. This is 63% of you vote about that. 2 of you vote about other. I don't know if the ones that vote about other, if you want to write it in the comments here in the chat section, also would be good. And 1 of you finding and respecting accountability. So I just wanted to check the
Thank you.
poll.
Mhm.
Okay, I think we have been 1 hour and a half.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Time
this,
for breakfast.
I just want to say thank you, because this has been a great meeting, and I look forward to joining you again.
yeah, definitely. We'll do this again. Carolina, do we have a time for the next one, or do we'll message everyone who had RSVP'd as well to this meeting about the next call. But yeah, we definitely want to be here and supportive, and hopefully you'll open up more with your challenges as well next time. We are a supportive community here, and we really want to help each other out. It's a long journey. We are probably never going to figure everything out, but we can help each other do that, right? So thank you so much for joining us today. It really meant a lot to see you all here, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
you.